Today I'm going to be answering a question that I get all the time. Carrie, how do I avoid wanting to keep up with the Joneses when I'm on my path to financial freedom? So people ask me like, oh, I want to get, the latest iPhone, the latest cool thing. But I also want financial freedom. How do I avoid this shiny object syndrome and wanting to have what everybody else has? Before I dive into that content, for those that are new here, this is Kashmir and Kava, and I'm Carrie Hassan. We talk about combining the law of attraction with investing. So, saving money, attracting more money so that you can invest and create financial freedom for yourself and your family. Okay, if that sounds cool to you, if that's the kind of thing that you're on board with, give me a thumbs up, give me a like on this video, and hit subscribe so you don't miss any new content. Okay, for those that aren't familiar with the term keeping up with the Joneses, it basically means, keeping up with what everybody else has, or like the people that are always buying new things, doing new things, wanting to keep up with those people. If you're watching this in another country and you have an expression similar to this in your country, drop it in the comments below, because I always like learning what other people call things. Okay, so some examples of this that I see all the time. The reusable water bottles. Like, I'm big into yoga. I have been for a long time. In the beginning, it was like, okay, everybody's got to have the Nalgene, those hard plastic, like tall, round bottles. And so everybody was having those. Like, okay, don't use single-use bottles. Get these Nalgenes. And then a couple years later, everybody had those and was like, oh no, we can't use those because those are plastic and plastic is killing the earth. So then we have to have metal ones. So then the cool thing was the SIG, I think, water bottles that were stainless steel, Swedish or Swiss. I think they were Swiss. And so you had to have those. Then, what was the next trendy one? Oh, they're still kind of trendy. The ones, what are they called? Where it looks like a pill, and then it has like that little cup thing on the top, so it can stand either way. Yeah. And then there are other ones now that look like the SIG ones, but they're called something else. They're like Sipwell or Chili's. Yeah, again, stainless steel. There are glass ones too, but anyways, there's always there's gonna be a next water bottle. So it's like, okay, not only should you be using a reusable water bottle to save the earth, but you've got to keep buying the new ones so that you're on trend with how you're saving the earth. I don't know what happens to all of these old water bottles. I mean, they get donated, they get thrown in landfills. Like, that's no good. Let's stop buying new water bottles. Okay, so that's just one example that always pops into my head. A better example is how Tesla, like, ooh, Tesla's the car now. And every time my son sees a new Tesla on the street, he's like, oh, so-and-so has a Tesla. Oh, look, there's another Tesla. He's really into it. And fortunately for me, like, I don't care about a Tesla. It's not the type of car I'd ever put on my vision board, but you know, I can see how it's appealing. And if I really wanted that, I'd be like, oh, geez, now everybody's driving like electric cars. Oh, do I feel pressure? Like, do I need to get the electric car? Do I need to get the new iPhone? Do I, oh, nobody's carrying like Michael Kors bags anymore. Everyone's carrying Fendi bags. So if you want to be cool and on trend and all that kind of stuff, you've got to switch your designer handbag up. So that's an example. Oh, and one more example of keeping up with the Joneses is I'm looking at a whole bunch of sunglasses, like the trendy sunglasses. We all remember when it was like the sunglasses that were this big in the 90s and early 2000s. And now I see all the stars with these little bitty skinny Winnie Matrix style glasses. Again, so if that's something you're into, then you'll be like, oh man, now I need to like go out and get these cooler sunglasses. So, and obviously all this costs a lot of money. It can cost a lot of money. I mean, this is expensive stuff. The Joneses, the stereotypical family, you know, they've got tons of money and they're always buying the newest and the latest and the greatest and doing, you know, the in thing. And yeah, that can cost a lot of money. So how do you avoid the pressure to be doing that? Well, for me, I stick to my vision. We've talked about that in other videos, like deciding what your vision is, deciding what you want in life, what your first class best life looks like. And so for me, that's creating financial freedom. And that goal and that purpose to me is stronger than fitting in or doing anything else. So it's like, I like my purse, I like my handbag, I like my sunglasses. I know trends come and go. It's more important to me to work towards my goal of financial freedom rather than what anybody thinks about what I have or what I'm doing. Because yeah, and I think if you just keep that goal in mind, then that's how you can avoid that pressure. Now, what happens if somebody has something you really want and you're like, I really want, like, let's say you really want a Tesla. That's something that is important to you. Well, I would put that on my vision board. I would work towards getting it. I would think like, okay, how can I make extra money in my business? Obviously, what would the trade-in be for my current car? You know, start making a plan towards it. An easier one would be like sunglasses. Let's say, yeah, I have some like giant Coach sunglasses that I never wear. Let's say I found a pair that was more on trend of these little like skinny ones, or a new pair of say environmentally friendly like wooden frame sunglasses or stainless steel, something like that that's not plastic. Here's what I do. I'd sell the old designer sunglasses, get some money there, and then I'd see, okay, how much are these new sunglasses going to cost? Again, put them on my vision board. Probably sell some things around the house that I'm no longer using. Also, again, sell some extra products in the business, some consulting, something like that. You know, there's always a way to make that extra money if there's something you really want. And then, of course, use the law of attraction, because when you're really in alignment with something and you're doing all your tips and tricks, which we're going to get into in future videos, how we do that. One of the big things for me is a vision board, but then also just dreaming about it. Like, how might these sunglasses come to me? How might they come into my life? And then sometimes crazy things just happen, like, oh, how we got our GoPro. Just dreaming about it. Like, how could we get a GoPro? And then a friend of ours was at a business event and got a GoPro for free in like the goodie bag and just gave it to us. So you never know where stuff is going to come from when you're using the law of attraction and just dreaming about it. Okay. So to wrap this up, keeping up with the Joneses, we want to avoid it because we want to be creating our best life, not living the Joneses' best life. Being authentic to ourselves, because that's always when you're going to be living your best life, is when you're doing what makes you happy, not doing things just because you feel like it makes you fit in. And how I do that is by constantly reminding myself of what my goal is, creating financial freedom, building generational wealth. And when I do that, all of these other things just aren't as appealing. So drop me a comment below if you've struggled with that feeling of keeping up with the Joneses, how that's felt, what you've done to avoid it. And make sure you click the subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos here on Cashmere and Kava. See you next time.